My number one intention for today is to show you how easy it really is to connect with the spirit world and to show you that anyone can do this. This is not reserved for a special few. You don't have to be born into this. There is no mysticism and, all of this mystery around spirit communication, that it is very simple, easy, and direct. Hey everyone, this is part 2 to my How to Become a Medium training. So if you're seeing this first, go back to my profile and watch part 1, but make sure you save this one so you don't lose it. Like hopefully at this point you're like, okay, I see. Like this really makes sense, August. Spirit communication is easy. I can really see where you're coming from. This makes total sense. But I think it's easy for everyone else. And I'm going to be the one person that it's not easy for or that can't do it. Who's thinking that right now? Be honest. Claim it, because the first thing to getting out of that energy is to be aware that you are in it. Who is thinking this right now? All right? That, okay, cool, it's easy. I believe anyone can do this. I think that it's simple, but I'm the one person that can't. Okay? Yeah, I see you guys. Don't worry. I felt the same way too. I'm going to show you how to break out of this, right? This is going to help you. This right here is going to help you break out of that. All right. You're no longer going to feel like the one this won't work for anymore. Okay. Because listen, I've not only have I experienced it, but I've also said it myself 1,000 times. I've heard it 1,000 times. But it brings me back to this one time. Every time I hear it now, it brings me back to this one time where it was one of the first workshops that I did, right? When I was on this journey, when people basically were twisting my arm to teach this and I didn't want to. I think this was like the 3rd or 4th workshop I ever did, where I had it kind of a little bit perfected by this time. And so what I used to do is these whole weekend workshops, all right, where day 1 was just kind of me talking and getting to know people and kind of like integrating the energy. And then the second day that we would do this experience, right? It was like this hybrid group individual experience where I would lead them into a connection with the spirit world and get them started. And then I would walk around and like individually help those who were struggling get into a connection. And so that was the method of this workshop that I used to teach. And so I remember like the first day, right? These were weekend workshops, the Saturday, Sunday. And I remember the first day, one of the first things we do is we kind of just go around the room. And these were small workshops, like 20 people, 15 people. One of the first things we would do is go around the room and everybody would talk about what their intention is, why they're here, what's the reason that they're wanting to connect to the spirit world. And it just kind of like to connect us all and connect the energy. And we got it was like the 4th, 5th person in. We got to this guy in the back and he's like, look, I don't believe in any of this crap. These 3, you see those 3 people over there? Those are some of my good friends. They're the ones that believe in all of this. We were looking for something to do this weekend. We found this workshop and they dragged me here, said I had to come. But listen, I don't believe any of this. You do your thing. Even if it was real, I don't think you could teach this to anybody. I was like, okay. I was like, cool, well, welcome, right? Well, like, what do you say to that, right? What do you say to that, right? And I don't know. I just kind of like my reaction to it was, well, look here, I'm not here to change your mind, right? I don't want you to like go against your beliefs or anything, but listen, you're here. You're here for the weekend. Are you going to stay here in this workshop while your friends do this, right? Because if you're going to be in and out, you just might as well go out now because I'm not going to let you disturb people. And he's like, no, I'm going to hang out. I'm going to see what it's all about, but I know that you can't teach this to me. I said, okay. I said, well, listen, you're here. If you're going to be going through this, why don't we do this? Why don't you come in and get curious? Set your beliefs aside for just this weekend. And listen, I'm not telling you to change your beliefs. I'm telling you to just set them aside, okay? Don't worry, after the workshop's over, you can pick them right back up. But while you're here, why don't you just do that, okay? And then ask yourself, what if this is possible? What if this is real? How could I benefit from it, right? How could he benefit from it? And so he was like, oh, I don't know. And I was like, look, I'll make you a deal. Okay. If you come in and you participate and you're genuine with this and you genuinely participate and really try, give it your best. If nothing happens for you at the end of the workshop, the last 15, 20 minutes, you can come to the front of the room and just make fun of me the whole time. And he was a very outgoing, funny guy. And he's like, oh, deal. Let's do that. Like, he was excited for that. All right. And so I was a little nervous at that point, right? I don't know why I made that deal with him. Right? This was only like my fourth, fifth workshop. And so I didn't even know if I was going to be able to help him. Okay. And so lo and behold, we go through our first day. Second day, we open up the energy and we're doing the group experience and I'm helping everybody get into it. The whole group gets started. I'm looking at the guy in the back and he's really trying. He is literally, I could see he is really, truly trying to do this. And I felt good about that. I was like, wow, okay, maybe something will happen. And so I get everybody started. They're going. And there was a couple people in the front that I wanted to address first. So I started working with them. And then I made my way back to him because I could see he was struggling. And he's like, look, August, man, I'm really trying to do this. Like, I want to take you up on this. Like, like you said, if this is real, there is something that I have to gain for this. Like, there is something. And so I am curious. I'm really trying, but nothing's happening. So I said, okay. And so I start working with him a little bit. We're like 5-6 minutes in working together and I'm helping him. I'm getting him going. And then all of a sudden, like, he's like sitting slunched over a little bit, cross-legged. All of a sudden he sits up and a tear comes down his eye. I could see his mother come right in. I put my hand on his back and I said, you're good now. And I walked away and he sat back there. I watched him the rest of the time having this amazing, wonderful experience. Tears flowing, tears of joy, of relief, of happiness, just like his shirt was soaked. Okay. I kept bringing him tissues, right? I think he must have gone through like a box of tissues. And so he's like having this huge cathartic experience back there. And so other people too, and so I'm walking around, I'm helping. Every time I look up, he's like deep into this experience. Okay. And so after that was done, after we had our experience, what we do now is we kind of do some integrating. Okay. And so once we've all wrapped up, we'll integrate, we'll talk about our experiences and we'll help anybody process because a lot of emotions come up. Right. And so I'll help people and I'll help the group process anything that came up for them. And so, we get started with that. I'm, working with a few people and all of a sudden he jumps up and he's like, hey, I want to talk about my experience. And I said, all right, yeah, what happened? He goes, August, thank you so much. He goes, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you for inviting me to put my beliefs aside, for asking me to genuinely participate. He goes, I want you to know that I connected with my mother here. She passed when I was a young boy, and there was a lot of things that were unresolved. That was very tough for me. And there was a lot of things that I wanted to tell her, and I wanted to ask, and it was just super tough. And we got a chance to do that here today, right? We got a chance to do here. And he goes, it was such an amazing, wonderful, beautiful experience. And had I not come here today, had you not be the one to tell me to just chill, I probably would have never had this. And he goes, thank you. I know that I can continue this relationship with my mom now. And I experienced so much healing here today. And I was just like, wow. I was like, wow. I was blown away. That was the first time I ever worked with a skeptic. Now I've worked with lots of them, but that was the first time I ever worked with somebody that was a skeptic, like a real hardcore, you're not going to teach this to me. Right. And so my question to you is, do you really feel like you can't learn this? Like you're the only one that cannot learn this, where somebody that came in with such rigid beliefs, somebody that flat out told me, you cannot teach me this. If that person can learn how to do this, you can too. You can too. And it just goes to show that all you need is that willingness and that openness and to set down the beliefs of the past, right? Whether that belief is that you believe that you're the only one this can't work for, or you believe that the old way of connecting with the spirit world is the only way, right? It just comes in here. It just comes down to having that fresh perspective. Spirit communication is easy, and I can do it. That's really all you need. That's really all you need. So if you're back there and you're struggling, right? So let me ask all of those that made the comment a few minutes ago about, oh, that's me. I think I'm the only one that can do this. Or I think I'm the only one that cannot do this, that it'll work for everyone. I believe you. It's right. If you a few minutes ago thought that you were the only one this wouldn't work for, let me know if this story changed your mind. Let me know if you think differently now, right? Because that's why I told you this. I hope that it does. I hope that this makes an impact on you, right? Because not only did this guy not believe, but he also believed that nobody could learn it, all right? And I was the same way. I didn't even believe in this. I didn't believe in none of it. And I was able to connect. Right? And I was able to connect. So, is this good? Are you guys getting something out of this? I hope, like, I put this together for you guys to kind of get you to the next level. And you know, I'm hoping that you're able to take stuff away from this and like apply it immediately, right? Because like I mentioned at the beginning of this, my goal is to get you there, right? My goal is by the end of this workshop to get you to a place to where you know exactly what you need to do to connect with the spirit world. Bella says, I feel I can, but honestly, I have no idea how or where to start. Well, I understand where you are. That's super confusing, right? That's the biggest, I would say that's another big hurdle to those of you that are just looking to come into this, right? For those of you that have been, that are brand new to spirit communication or your spiritual abilities, like when you start looking into it, there's so much information. Oh, it's overwhelming, right? And then not only is there so much information, but there's so much contradictory information. Right? This person says this other person says that, this person does this person said to do that, this person said this, but this other person said not to do it, right? And then you're like, gosh, and it's so overwhelming, right? It's just so overwhelming. It's like sticking a fire hose in your mouth trying to get a drink of water, right? And it just, I know exactly how that feels. And so that's what I hope to clear up here today. I hope that you really get some clarity here today, Bella, right? Or anyone else, like who else feels that way? Who else feels like there's so much information that you don't know what to do, right? If you feel that way, you know, let me know because I'm right there with you. I felt that way too. I felt that way too, Bella. You can overcome that. And listen, the way that you're going to overcome that, all right, I'm going to talk more about that at the end because what I'm going to go into next, this next part of the workshop might clear this up for you. By the end of it, it definitely will. Okay, it will help you figure out how you're going to navigate that part, how you're going to navigate that information overload. All right. So how many people want to know that? Where to start? Yeah. Way too much. Yeah. Yeah, so many different spiritual subjects. Jenna, I feel you. I use clairaudience to connect with past loved ones. Why do I have trouble connecting with spirit guides? It for a various amount of reasons. The biggest one is probably confidence, right? Confidence is really the biggest thing. Listen, there is no secret mystical reason why you're not connecting with the spirit world. There is no external force that's stopping you. You are the only one that's preventing you, and it's usually from doubt. That's really the biggest thing. It's from doubt. And listen, I'm not telling you to trust. I will never say, trust what you get. You will never hear me say that because I hated hearing that. What do you mean, trust what I get? I think that I think that every connection that I make, I'm in my head and it's just me. Were you telling me to trust that? You know, that made me so aggravated. Between meditation and trust what you get. Like, that's not helpful, right? That's not helpful. So what I'm an advocate for is let me show you how to connect so deep, so vivid, and so undeniably real that doubt cannot exist in that environment. All right. And that's what we're going to learn here now. All right. Because, you know, that brings me to the next piece, right? Really, it really opens it up to the next piece. Like, if you're just coming into this now, you've got the information overload piece, right? But on the other side of that, if you've been trying to do this a lot, right? If you've been taking courses, if you've been reading books, if you've been, following people, if you've been mentoring with others, right? And you have all of this information, you have this education on spirit communication, but it's still not working, right? How many of you are out there, August? Answer this. How many of you are out there going, August, this all sounds amazing and wonderful, but I literally have tried everything and nothing has worked? Tell me if that's you. Tell me if that's you. Are you the one that has been going through this years, months, whatever, and you feel like you've exhausted your resources or you've gone as far as that you can go and nothing that you have tried is letting you connect in the way that you want to connect, right? You've had some experiences here and there and, but nothing is taking you into that undeniable experience. Yeah, there's a lot of you on here. There's a lot. Like, I think that we kind of all go through that phase where we first step into it. It's information overload. It's so crazy. We start to pick things. We go into the things we resonate with. We're studying, we're trying, we're doing all the stuff that we can. We spend years, months, weeks trying this stuff and it still doesn't work. And then we get to the point where it's like, I've tried everything and it's not working. The reason nothing has stuck is because none of that stuff teaches you your unique way of connecting. You have to discover your unique way of connecting in order to have an undeniable flowing conversation with the spirit world whenever you want, for as long as you want, with whatever spirit you want. You have to discover your unique way of connecting. And when you're studying a course, when you're reading a book, when you're following somebody else or reading or watching different videos, everybody's trying to give you a framework, right? I wish I could write down on a piece of paper, step 1, do this, step 2, do this, step 3, do this. Here you go. Follow step 1, 2, and 3, and you'll be able to connect with the spirit world. That does nothing for anyone. All of the courses teach you a framework that's not fit for you. A lot of these things are boilerplate templates that were just regurgitated over time, repackaged, and people have put their own spin on things, right? Or maybe that actually does work, but it only works for the person teaching it because it's their unique way of connecting. Right? And while you may be able to have some certain level of experiences with it, it's not going to take you to that place because it's not designed for you. Listen, I've worked with thousands of people and I've never seen two that connect in the same way. What was that bowl of ice cream? That's cool. I've never seen two people connect in the same way out of the thousands that I've worked with. Not even close. Okay? Not even close. Everybody has their own unique way of connecting, and you've got to discover what that is. Okay? And so, people are always like, at this point, like, well, how do I find my unique way of connecting? August, that sounds like exactly, I know, yes, I need to find my own unique way of connecting. Well, the truth is, I can't tell you what your unique way of connecting is, right? That's something that's discovered. Right? And it took me 9 years. Remember how I told you in the beginning how I tried and experimented and I played with all of these different things. And then finally, like 9 years later, that last piece of the puzzle clicked and boom, I was there. And since then, I've been able to connect with such clarity, right? Well, the reason is because along that journey, when I was experimenting and playing, remember how I said I was analyzing every single experience that I was having? I was analyzing it all. And the stuff that was working, I started to apply it and it would take me deeper. And I kept doing that. Well, I was tracking that progress. What was working? I was following that along. And so when that last piece of the puzzle clicked, I had my whole way. I had been following my path. When that last piece of the puzzle clicked, I knew my unique way of connecting. And once you know your unique way of connecting, you have it for life. It never changes. It's always the same. And so that is what it takes to have these undeniable conversations with the spirit world. You have to understand your unique way of connecting. Without that, it's impossible. But here's the thing. So August, you're telling us it's going to take 9 years. No, no. All right. Here's the one thing that I wish I would have known when I was on that journey. And this is what's going to help you do it so much faster than I did. Go and experiment with everything. Don't ask people for book recommendations. Don't ask people for recommendations of other things. Just consume as much as you can. But here's the caveat. If you try a method, a modality, a framework, if you try something once and it does not work, throw it away, move on. Quickly, be quick to just throw it away. You don't need to try it a second time. Throw it away. It doesn't work for you. You did it right. Okay, you can't do it wrong. You did it right, move on to the next thing. If a part of that worked, take the part that worked with you. Go on, move, travel along. That would have saved me years if I would have moved on. I would go and I would take a course and I would beat my head against the wall trying to make it work. Right? I would try and right? And it wasn't until I was like, all right, well, let me just take the stuff that worked and move on. Boom, I would have another experience because the stuff that wasn't working was in the way. And so don't be the person that beats your head against the wall, okay? Just try. Give it to your, like move on quick. Try it all. Listen, and just because something resonates does not mean that it is your way. It just means that it is a path to the breadcrumb that you're supposed to pick up, right? So if it resonates at first, explore it. You might find something, and that originally thing that resonated doesn't resonate anymore. It was just the path to find that peace. That's what I needed to know. That's what I wish somebody would have told me, and it would save years of heartache. But listen, I'm going to do you one even more solid, right? So that's one of the ways. Right? One of the ways. Listen, the other way that my students are doing it bypasses all of that stuff, right? It bypasses all of the experimentation, all of the heartache, all of everything, okay? And it's the way that I work with my students that gets them into that, right? It's very, let me do this puzzle. It's very unique the way that I work with people, okay? There's nothing else out there like that, okay? Hopefully that's what you've realized in this workshop as well, is that this information is very different than everything else out there, because this is the new way of connecting, the simple, the easy way. Everything else is just fluff and glitter, okay? And I really mean that from the bottom of my heart. Those of you that have been on this path for a while feel that, right? Because you know it's not worked so far. All right. So this is what I do. This is how I work with my students. Like when in my mentorship program, I literally hold my students by the hand and I walk them right into their first undeniable flowing conversation with the spirit world. All right. And that's my favorite part of all of this, right? There is no better feeling that first time somebody's like, boom, and you're like, oh. But here's the thing. It's not direct. It really is chaotic that first time we work together, right? It is super insane, because here's the thing. When I'm working with somebody, I'm watching where their energy opens. I'm watching where it closes down. I'm watching how their energy responds to the different things that we're doing and how I'm bringing them through the experience and helping them get to that place, right? And I'm tracking the process. We're bumping against all their doubts. August, I feel like I'm in my head. We deal with it. Boom. August, I feel like I'm making it up. Boom. We deal with it. August, I'm not getting anything. Boom. We deal with it. Whatever comes up for that person, for my student, when we're working together, we deal with it right there on the spot. And so we're like bouncing around like a pinball machine. Boom, 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 off all of the walls. And then all of a sudden, boom, we get there in that experience. Their face lights up. They're there. It's undeniable. They're connecting. It's flowing. It's moving. I don't need to do anything at that point. And they're there, right? And because I tracked it, because I was tracking their progress and how they were getting there, now we know their unique way of connecting, right? Now they have it. Once you have your unique way of connecting, once you know how it unfolds for you, you have it for life. It never goes away. It's always the same, okay? And so that's how I work with my students to get them to that place, okay? And so for those of you that are interested in fast tracking those things and skipping the 9 years I went through and all that heartache, I do have spots available in my mentorship program. And, I'm happy to share a little bit more about that and what that looks like and all of that fine stuff. But really this workshop here today was really about you guys and getting the information out here to you and helping you. So at this point, I'm happy to do some Q&A about anything that you guys want to talk about when it comes to spirit communication, or, if it's okay and you want me to share about my mentorship program and what that looks like, then just let me know in the comments. Let me know if it's okay, and we'll do whatever you guys want to do. This workshop is all about you today. All right. All right. Thank you. Please share. Yes. Mentorship. I want to hear about the mentorship. Okay. How long's the program? Yes. Tell us about the mentorship. Okay. So you guys, so it's okay. So it's okay if I talk about the mentorship a little bit. So a lot of you are responding yes. I don't see any questions about anything else yet. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I have no problem. I'll share a little bit about the program. So the way that the program works, we would work together over the course of 12 months. We meet twice a month for 2 hours at a time. All right. And in these sessions, these are group coaching sessions. And again, like I said, this is unlike anything else that's out there. There is no curriculum. There are no lessons. I'm not teaching you anything. You don't need information. You're not coming to learn spirit communication in my mentorship. You're coming to experience it. Okay. And that's what we do. In these group sessions, we are going right into it. You will be connecting and communicating with the spirit world from day one. We go right into it. Okay. And so because there are no lessons, because this isn't tailored, because this is completely tailored for you, it's really fast tracks your ability. Because remember how I said, what I do the way that I run the sessions, right? That's what I'm getting at. The way that I run these 2 hour sessions, I have students that are been in the program for a little bit, that are a little bit more advanced, that are just here to do readings and get their reps in and get some experience. They go off into breakout rooms and they do their readings. Okay. But the new students that just come into the program, I'm working with them there in the group, like individually. Okay. And so the way that works is, like, let's say I pick a student. Like I mentioned before, or that somebody volunteers to work with me. Like I mentioned a second ago, I'm literally holding their hand and walking them right into that undeniable experience. Okay. And like I mentioned earlier, we're bouncing all over the place and we're getting them there. And again, this is literally my favorite part, right? Because this is where you get to see what's actually possible, right? This is where it's like, whoa. Okay. All right. And again, that's where we learn your unique way of connecting. All right. Now, with most of my students, it only takes them about 3 times working with me that closely, and then they've got it. They can do this. They don't need my help anymore. They go off and do their own thing. They have this solid foundation, all right? And they're able to connect with the spirit world after 3 times working with me. And the reason that it works so fast, okay, is because, like I said, that first time you're going to see what's possible, all right? That second time we work together, this is where the confidence comes in. This is where we're giving our brain evidence, because you have the experience again and you're like, okay, right? Students are like, okay, yes, this is repeatable. I can do this whenever I want. It was just as amazing as the first time. The first time wasn't some sort of a fluke or accident. I can actually do this. And so now you built that confidence, all right? The third time we work together, I'm really not doing anything. I'm really not helping at all. If you get stuck, I may give you a nudge, but the reason most people can just do it by this time is because they know their unique way of connecting by the time we get here, okay? They know how it works, and they've already used it twice, and so they have experience on how to navigate things. Okay. And so that's where it all comes in. That's how it happens so fast, right? Isn't it, it just blows my mind each time. Like when a student comes in their first time, right? And they see other students doing readings and connecting, and they're like, oh, I'm not going to be able to do that. I'm like, well, this is their second meeting, right? And then it's like, oh, really? And then their second or third meeting, they're like, okay, yeah, yeah. Total shift in perspective, like immediately, shift in experience right away. All right. And it's just something fun really to watch. And so from there, like I mentioned, right? So it's like a 12-month program. All right. But you don't need anywhere near 12 months to get this. Okay. Like I mentioned, what happens is that once we work together, you have those three experiences. You're off, you're on your own, you're doing it by yourself. You're experiencing all these unique things on your own, and you're going to want to know how to fine tune those. You're going to want to know how to go deeper in these experiences, right? Because this whole new world opens up to you after that, right? And you're going to have these very unique experiences you're going to want to learn how to handle, have more of, go deeper, and whatnot. And so, for example, like a lot of times students are like, well, I went to go connect with my loved one and 3 of them showed up. How do I do that? How do I have a conversation with more than one spirit at a time, right? We're going to learn that, right? We're going to deal with that. We're going to work with that, right? Or you're like, August, I, tuned into this area of my life that really needed this attention, and I got so much clarity and I was able to fix this thing that was going on. How do I do that more, right? And so we're going to work with that. Okay. And so we're going to fine tune it. And so all of those experiences that are unique that you're having, that's what we do the rest of the time together, is that we fine tune. Now, the only reason why I even say 12 months in this program is because a couple of things, right? I never want to push somebody faster than they're ready to go, right? Because I have students, this is brand new to them, right? And some of them don't feel comfortable at first. And so, with students that want to take their time and work at their own comfort level, and just kind of maybe observe the first few sessions, not really do much, not really participate, maybe even keep their camera off on the Zoom session, right? Maybe, just kind of coast through and let themselves warm up to it before they start going into it. For students that want to take that approach, 12 months is way more than enough time that you need, okay? The other side of that, right, is that now, if we have scheduling conflicts, if there's things like that, last minute schedule changes, there's no pressure to attend a session. These things are totally flexible. Remember, there is no lesson, there is no curriculum. You're not going to miss out on something. All of it's tailored to you. So, there's no pressure for you to miss a session. If you miss it, you just come to the next one. You've got way more than enough time for you to get this, right? It isn't about, I got to go through 12 months and then I can communicate. No, the 12 months is there just as the container. You're going to get it so much faster than that 12 months. As a matter of fact, my students that come in and they're like, August, let me know if this is you. What I'm about to describe, let me know if this is how you would do my mentorship program. I have students that come in and they're like, August, let's go. I can't get this fast enough. Let's move it. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to get this. Is that you? Is that how you guys would do my mentorship? Let me know in the comments if that's how you would do it. Because for those of you that are ready to jump in, that are ready to go and run wild with it, you guys get this in about 90 days. Fully fine-tuned. All right. This isn't something that's going to take you long. I see all the yeses. Yes, I need this yesterday. Okay. You need this. Then go. Listen, I have some openings in my program. You can go to the link in the comments or in my bio or somewhere around this video on my profile. Somewhere around here, you can go to a link and you can schedule an interview with me. That is really the first step. Okay, it's to schedule the interview and then we go from there. That's where we'll discuss your particulars, what you're wanting, what you're looking for, and all of those things, where I'll tell you more about the program and how, all the other logistical stuff that's boring. We discuss all of that in the interview, once you're accepted. All right. So like I said, space is limited, but there are, there's a few openings, for my interviews right now. So anyway, there's so much more to it, but that's basically really the gist of it. You also have full access to me. You can text me, email me. We can have a conversation at any time. I really don't put a time limit on it. Once you come into my program, you're family. Right. And so we talk, we chat, I get, amazing, wonderful phone calls and emails from students literally every day. I got one right before I got on this live, about a student that, she came in, she wanted to read professionally, and, that's the other thing too. I help students, that want to go on and read professionally and want to do this for other people. And maybe turn it into a business, or those of you that, may not be interested in a business, but just want to share this with as many people as you can. That's part of the program too, is that I also help you guys figure out how to get your clients, how to get people showing up, how to spread this as far and as wide as you would like to go with it. But I had a student that works in hospice, and she just sent me a text earlier right before I got on this, and she was like, August, thank you so much. I just opened my calendar and I'm booked out for the next 30 days. And I was like, wow, good for you, and it was so satisfying for her, because she's not doing it for a business or charge money. She's retired, and she's really doing it to help people from the bottom of her heart. And that's what she wanted more than anything. She wanted a full calendar. And so that hit me, right? That hit me. And so that's why I do this stuff too, is to really help you guys, right? And so that's how I make my impact. You guys are the ones who go out and spread this, okay? Any questions? Any other questions? I talk to myself for advice when it's quiet. Is that a version of talking to spirit? Yeah, it kind of is. It's kind of not, it's with your intuition, right? It's connecting with your own intuition is really what it's about. You're connecting with your own in your own energy. And very much, I have a conversation with myself all the time, all the time. Even with this, giving this workshop and stuff, it's like I'm channeling this out of my energy. Like, I can't remember all of this stuff. This isn't in the forefront, right? If you start asking me questions about stuff that I said in the beginning of this workshop, I'm going to have to tune back in. I don't remember it with memory, right? The local hard drive is done. It's max capacity. Everything's in the cloud, right? Everything's in the cloud. And so that's what I have to do, is access the cloud. And that's what you mean when you're talking to yourself, you're accessing your own energy, the cloud. All right, I see a couple of you guys. Oh man. All right, I see quite a few of you. Quite a few of you have already booked interviews. Carolina, you booked an interview. Awesome. Thanks, Carolina. Yeah, I see quite a few of you. So listen, if you're interested, spots fill up so fast. Spots really fill up fast. And so if this is something, listen, I want to be clear about who this is for too. You're ready for a mentor. You have the time, the resources, you're dedicated to this. You want this more than anything else. This is the most important thing happening in your life. You want to create meaning and purpose in your life. You want to help other people. You are super dedicated to this. Or even if you're wanting to really connect with your own loved one. I work with a lot of bereaved people too. So if you're wanting to really connect with your own loved one and not really share this with others, that would be the other thing, but that would be the other type of person that I work with. But again, you would have to be super dedicated. This would have to be the most important thing going on right now. You would have to have the time, the resources to be able to actually stay with this, right? It is a commitment, right? It's not a time commitment. It's an energetic commitment, right? You have to come in and I am ready to go, August. Let's talk about this. Let's get set up. I am ready to do this, right? And so if that's how you feel, you're ready, then please book an interview. Spots are very limited, all right? And so if you're on the fence, I don't know, I might not have the time, just wait. Spots will open up again in the future. But if you know for sure, the time is now, that right now is the time, then that's who I'm wanting to talk to. That's who I want to bring into the program, okay? And so if that's you, please, you can find the link, like I mentioned. It's either in the comments if you're watching the replay, or it's going to be on my main profile. You'll find the link somewhere around here, okay, to schedule an interview. How much is it? I can't, I don't really, I don't know. Like, we need to talk first, right? That's something that I don't really, I can't really give a price before we kind of connect and before we, I find out where you are, right? The first step is like, this might not even be for you, right? And if it's not for you, then I'll direct you to the right place, right? And so there's different packages and programs that I can put you in. And so to really discuss price, I really need to know what's going on with you and your situation. All right. And so that's like I said, the first step is the interview, to talk about it, to see if it's right for you. And then from there, we talk about all of that other stuff. All right. So anyway, guys, I'm going to get running. Listen, if you need anything, listen, please comment on this video, comment on my other videos. I may not write directly to you in one of my comments, but I am looking at those comments. They are inspiration for my videos that I put out there and put on social media. So if you have questions, if you want to connect with me, make sure that you're going to those comments and leaving your comments, okay? If this video helped you today, please share it. Drop a comment down below right now and just say, this helped me. Put a heart emoji. Write something in the comments right now if this helped you, because that is really big, right? That really helps with the social media engines, and people can see this who need it. All right. Thank you, Catherine. Thank you, Sylvia. I appreciate it. Carolina, thank you. I appreciate you all. Thank you so much. I love you guys all. We'll talk again soon.